Let's talk pets. More renters have pets than ever before, so it's important to accommodate their furry friends or accept that it may be harder to fill vacancies. In fact, according to the American Pet Products Association's 2022 National Pet Owners Survey, a whopping 70% of US households, 90 million families, own a pet. What's more significant is the fact that the number has been steadily increasing for decades, with it being just 56% in 1988 and in 67% recently in 2019. So should you allow pets, and what kind of fees should you charge? Welcome back, Loopers. My name is Sydney. I'm a content creator here at DoorLoop. Look, even if you aren't sold on allowing pets, there are still some things to consider. Today we'll be reviewing the pros and cons, as well as what the difference is between pet rent and pet deposits. The goal today is to give you a full picture so you can make an educated decision about what's best for you and your properties. Let's start by breaking down the difference between some common terms. If you just started considering allowing pets, you've likely run into some terms such as pet rent and pet deposit. And there is a difference, and understanding the difference between each is important in helping you decide which is best for you and why. So starting with pet rent. Pet rent is a monthly charge added on top of the tenant's monthly rent amount. Pet rent is typically between 1 and 3% of the monthly rent amount. It's non-refundable, and it is made part of the tenant's regular rent payment. Depending on how much you charge, you may be able to collect a bit more from pet rent than a standard pet deposit or fee. However, you don't get this amount up front, which is a trade-off worth noting. Next is a pet deposit. A pet deposit is a one-time refundable deposit, much like a regular security deposit, but designed to specifically cover property damage caused by said tenant's pets. A pet deposit is nice because it acts as an incentive to your tenants to keep up the property. If they avoid damage, they'll get their deposit back, and if not, they'll be giving away that $200 to $500 deposit to pay for the damages. And lastly is a pet fee. A pet fee is like a pet deposit in that it's a one-time fee, but it differs in being a non-refundable fee, designed to cover wear and tear. Typically, a pet fee is anywhere from $100 to $500, depending on the size of the pet and some other factors. A pet fee is nice as it's guaranteed income to cover any kind of damages, whereas a pet deposit is refundable. However, there is no incentive to the tenant to keep up the property because they've already paid you this fee. Now, before we move on, it's important to note that there are laws stipulating special treatment for service animals and assistance animals. Some information online claims that landlords aren't allowed to charge any kind of pet fee. This isn't 100% accurate. You're not allowed to charge pet fees, but you are allowed within the realm of fair housing law to charge a deposit to recoup any damages caused by the service animal or assistance animal. According to the Humane Society's Fair Housing Act and Service Animals page, service and assistance animals are not technically pets, and owners do not have to pay fees. The landlord, however, can charge a security deposit and may still seek money from the tenant if there is damage caused by the animal to the home. Also, if there's an issue, the landlord does have the right to try to remove the assistance animal through legal proceedings. Keep this in mind when considering how to accommodate potential tenants with service and assistance animals. We actually have a whole video on dealing with emotional support animals, and we touch on service animals as well. So check out that video up here, or I'll have it linked down in the description. Now let's hop into the pros and cons of pet rent and allowing pets. As we know, allowing pets comes with a number of benefits, but there's also some drawbacks. So let's start with the pros and then we'll do the cons. Our first pro is that you can charge more for rent. This is generally the most attractive benefit for many landlords. Offering pet rent allows you to effectively charge for more rent. How much you charge depends on your area, but the amount typically ranges between $10 to $100 extra per month. Another pro is that you can access a larger pool of renters. The commonly cited benefit, and this is one I touched on at the intro of the video, is it really can't be denied that allowing pets instantly increases your pool of prospects significantly. It's hard enough to deal with vacancies. By not allowing pets, you reduce your number of applicants by as much as like 2/3, and that makes that job significantly harder. Another pro is reduced turnover. This is often an overlooked benefit, but it has the potential to reduce turnover. How does this happen? Well, let me explain. Well, tenants with pets are more likely to become rooted and get comfortable to their place of residence, and it's harder for them to get up and move with a pet, partly because they'll have to find somewhere that accepts pets and also pay all those fees again. This means that those tenants you have with pets are more likely to stay with you regardless of the reason than consider moving. So let's move on to some of the cons. The first con is potential property damage. Normal wear and tear is a common occurrence, but in some cases pets can cause some serious property damage. While pet rent and a pet deposit can cover property damage, there's no guarantee that it will be enough to cover the full costs depending on the severity of the damage. Another con is potential noise complaints and disturbances. Just like how adding tenants and placing them together can sometimes cause issues between them, pets add into their own element of the mix, typically by the way of excessive barking or when they hear noises from outside or through a wall. Another con is a potential lawsuit. and this is rare, but it could happen. If an animal believes that it's in danger or its owner is in danger, even a trained pet can, in some very rare cases, lash out and cause harm. In that event, someone may be injured, leading to a lawsuit. So how much should you even charge for pet rent? Earlier, we did touch on how much is typically charged for pet rent. However, deciding how much you should charge is a different matter. If you decided that allowing pets is in your property and business's best interest, it's now time to decide how much you want to charge. If you decided to charge pet rent, the amount is usually between $10 and $100 per month. But how do you decide exactly on how much to charge? One of the common factors is the size and number of pets. For instance, a golden retriever or Labrador is going to warrant a higher pet rent or deposit than like a tiny Chihuahua. Similar, 3 tiny Chihuahuas might warranty the same pet fee as a single retriever. It also depends on your area. Now, some states do have a cap on the amount of pet rent that you can charge relative to the monthly rent amount. So make sure to check with your states and your local laws to know how much you're allowed to charge for pet rent before setting your rate. So now that you've decided to allow pets on your property, you'll want to add this into your lease. This portion of lease is in addition to the lease stipulating the policies the tenants must follow regarding their pets. By reviewing it with your tenants and having them sign the agreement, you're making clear what is and isn't acceptable to you as a landlord. So make sure to include these 2 items. You'll want to have the rules, maybe agreeing to regular inspections, etc., and a signed acknowledgement from the tenants of the said rules. For more information about adding this to your lease, you can read our guide all about it. I will have it linked down below. Whether or not you should allow pets is entirely up to you, though it certainly can be worth it. You might find that allowing pets opens you up to more revenue, longer-term tenants, and a larger pool of applicants. On the other hand, you may have no trouble filling your vacancies and see pets as not worth the trouble and more hassle than anything. Either way, I hope this video helped you decide if it's in your best interest, as well as figure out how much you should charge for pet rent. If you have any other tips regarding this, make sure to leave those down in the comment section below. And if this video helped you out, make sure to give it a thumbs up and check out this playlist for more tips and tricks for landlords and property managers. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!